Oscar Piastri certainly caused quite the stir this season, with the young Aussie creating a tug-of-war between Alpine and McLaren, and after a lengthy, drawn-out saga, he finally joined McLaren, displacing everyone's favourite Aussie, Daniel Ricciardo. With the dust all settled and Alpine and McLaren kissing and making up, albeit through the FIA's contract recognition board, Gunter Steiner, the outspoken team principal of Haas, is now weighing in with his opinion of the direction that McLaren are going. Let's just say we don't think he quite agrees with what they are trying to do. Stick around to find out what Gunter Steiner said and what we can expect from both Norris and Piastri in the 2023 season. Effectively, by signing Oscar Piastri, McLaren broke up one of F1's favourite driver lineups, with both Daniel and Lando responsible for some great moments. But good publicity doesn't win you championships, and who knows, maybe Piastri could be a smaller, younger honey badger, only time will tell. One thing we can say for sure is that the new Aussie does have some style, with the 2021 Formula 2 World Champion having signed his FIA Super License, making him eligible to race in the pinnacle of motorsport. He signed the document in some style whilst wearing a watch worth over $335,000. The 21-year-old was seen wearing an exclusive Richard Mille RM6702 automatic winding extra flat Alexander Zverev, with Richard Mille being one of the Woking-based team's leading sponsors. Well, the Aussie may have style. Gunter Steiner is more well known for his down-to-earth and honest opinions in the F1 world, with the Italian known to ruffle some feathers, in particular those that support a young Mick Schumacher, and felt the handling of his contract at Haas was appalling. Some believe 2022 was more of a rookie season than Mick's debut season, with Gunter Steiner having this to say about the Mick situation. Obviously, Mick cannot give us the wealth of experience of a Hulkenberg. Team boss Gunter Steiner said, "Experience takes time, so of course that's something we can't blame Mick for. But time is exactly what we don't have at the moment. We have to assert ourselves in the midfield, and for that, we need drivers like Nico and Kevin Magnussen." Steiner insists he doesn't blame Schumacher for the team's situation. "As a team, we started well in Formula 1, then we stagnated, and then we actually fell back. And that wasn't Schumacher's fault," he told Speedweek. "We are no longer the same Haas team as we were in early 2021. We knew that season was going to be very difficult because we focused our resources on the development of the new car for 2022. It wasn't until this year that we made progress again, but our season has been one of ups and downs, and now we need drivers who offer the best possible chance of consistently scoring points," Steiner added. AlphaTauri boss Franz Tost constantly says rookie drivers need at least 3 seasons to adjust to Formula 1, and 23-year-old Schumacher also thinks he wasn't given enough time. "In a way, Mick is right," said Steiner. "He has now had 2 years with us, but before that, a young driver has little opportunity to prepare for this job." McLaren and Haas are preparing for 2023 in very different ways, with the British side opting for youth in their driver lineup, whilst the Americans have gone for experience. Piastri is one of the most talked about talents in the paddock, with many predicting that the 21-year-old will go on to achieve incredible things in Formula 1. With remaining in the midfield being so important, Steiner has actually warned McLaren that they are taking a risk by opting for Piastri over Ricciardo. Whether McLaren are indeed worried about having a rookie for next season remains to be seen, but Steiner has suggested that it might not go as hoped for the Woking-based outfit. McLaren is bringing in Piastri for 2023. Everyone considers the Australian a fantastic talent, but frankly at McLaren, they don't even know if everything will turn out as hoped, Steiner stressed in an interview with Speedweek.com. "Young drivers are always a certain risk," the team boss stressed. "We know that Formula 2 drivers George Russell, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris are all excellent drivers, but you don't know that in advance." While this may be true of what Gunther says, not everyone agrees with him. His race engineer Tom Stallard and the pair have already had a full-scale test in Barcelona, and the British engineer was particularly impressed with Piastri's work ethic, to say the least. "He is incredibly calm all the time. He's very calm, very mature, and unflappable," said Tom Stallard of Oscar Piastri. Oscar is also very adaptable, and it's impressive how he's been able to modulate his entry into corners and adjust his braking to get the best out of the car. He is making a lot of progress, and I think he now clearly understands what the car needs. He's been able to do that very effectively. We're very excited about that. Let's be honest, as F1 fans, this is what truly excites us. 2 drivers with great talent racing it out. With Lando Norris being considered the team's wonder boy, who see him as a future world champion, but for him to reach the top of the main category of motorsport, McLaren need to give him a car capable of fighting for wins, which has not happened so far. When that happens, and if it happens, there is no doubt that Norris will have a great chance of becoming Formula One champion. However, only time will tell. He has, however, fired some shots at McLaren recently, with him not ruling out a move to another team if McLaren don't start improving. In particular, Red Bull, we did have some discussion with earlier in the year. When asked what assurances McLaren had given him about moving in the right direction, Norris told Formula One's official website, "It's just faith, it's just honesty, that's the main things I need. I'm not a guy who in any way likes BS, or who likes people trying to make me happy. I like just people being honest. I have faith in McLaren, I have faith in the guys I work with, the whole team. But time will tell. You can never be 100% certain where you are going to be, but you can have a good shot at it." However, CEO Zak Brown recently stated that they would be able to provide Lando with a car to compete, with the McLaren CEO having this to say, "I'm convinced we're going to give him a winning car. We have a long-term contract with him and I think he feels very comfortable. He knows the journey. He's brought into the journey that we're on. It is too early to be worried about Norris leaving. With that being said, we need to consider what we can expect from Lando and Oscar Piastri in the 2023 season. For the first time since making his Formula One debut in 2019, Norris will be the team's oldest driver and clearly the leader now. McLaren will remain extremely focused on helping him develop and fight for podiums and wins in the future. However, Piastri has not just arrived to be second driver and squire, as the young Australian will also want to show service and will not take his foot off for his teammate. A heated dispute, as it is expected, between Ocon and Gasly at Alpine is unlikely, but McLaren will need a lot of wisdom to manage their still very young driver duo, giving them freedom and at the same time needing both of them to work for the team. Now, with all that being said, we thought we would leave you on a more quirkier note. Why Oscar Piastri chose the number 81? Well, it all appears to have to do with his go-karting days, with the young Australian having this to say, "81 was the number I had in karting. The story of how I got 81 is not particularly interesting, but I'll explain it anyway. When I did my first race, I had to pick a number for my first race and the kart shop I went to only had number 1s in stock, and it had to be a 1 or 2-digit number. I obviously couldn't be number 1 because, for obvious reasons, so I was actually number 11 my first couple of races, and then we entered, I think it was the Victorian state titles, and somebody had already entered as number 11. I don't know what inspired me to pick 81, but I changed the first 1 for a number 8, and it's stuck ever since, so there you go." Piastri will become the first driver to carry number 81 since drivers were able to choose their race number in 2014, while fellow rookie Logan Sargent will sport number 2 for Williams in 2023. What do you think of Steiner's comments, and can McLaren be competitive this season? Comment below.